How's it going, my friends? Welcome back to another standard video. Here we have Seven Faust top 8 black-green beanstalk list. That is a deck we actually also worked on a little bit. I know Simon and Stefan put some time into this, maybe someone else on the team as well, before sort of discarding it because we weren't really happy with the domain matchup. But perhaps Seven and his team, his NRG team, I think the 2 or 3 of them played it, found a pretty decent plan. I actually did play against this deck as well, against Joseph Puglisi, I believe was his name. In the very first round of Constructed, I was on blue-white control, I saw the deck list, and I was like, alright, a black-green deck, low on sideboard hate, there's only 1 duress in the sideboard. Should be a pretty decent matchup, I would think, but it actually got really close. And maybe I can showcase to you guys in this videos how this deck can actually win against like Sunfall, Day of Judgment, those type of sweeper effects. Yeah, but before we get into that, let's take a look at the list. We have 12 one-drops. Moltender is the new addition to this archetype. Not only mana ramp, also something to fill up the graveyard with, to reduce the cost of all these, how do you call them, I guess, all these effects that want creatures in your graveyard that are happy to have those, and then they're going to be reduced. And with Beanstalk, things get really messed up, where you just chain them into each other for a very low amount of mana, drawing cards every single time. And Overlord of the Balemorg is sort of that perfect piece of gluing everything together. Finds your creatures, mills you, puts more stuff in your graveyard, triggers Beanstalk, is another value card down the line when the impending 5 goes away. Great one. And Harvest of Misery. It's like a 2-mana removal spell mostly, I would say, which also is a creature, so it helps your own game plan. And then, hey, can come up that you get it back for Overload if you need the sweeper effect. And last but not least is Souls of the Lost. Card has the requirement of you sacrificing a permanent or discarding a card when you cast it, and then it's just a big beefy thing. I call it the Black Regal Bunnycorn. It's just that. I mean, with Jeskai Convoke, which I'm also gonna do a video on very soon, our plan of beating Red was to have a giant Regal Bunnycorn and put Sheltered by Ghost on it. With this deck, you will have a giant Souls of the Lost, and yeah, I mean, if this is a 8-9, I mean, then, you know, it just blocks all the double striking from the Gruul deck. It's so much power, so much toughness. It's a really, really strong blocker in that matchup and just a good attacker too. In other matchup, this is a huge liability. I would not be surprised if my round 1 opponent, Puglisi, actually boarded this card out against my sweeper heavy deck, because, you know, it's just not a good card against go for the throat, get lost type effects, of course, or Day of Judgment. Yeah, but pretty sweet deck. Only 6 new cards, but yeah, pretty good list, I guess. Good plans. Let's talk about the sideboard real quick. We have 3 copies of Terrortide. Yeah, makes sense. The Scent Sweeper, not too bad. Black, sort of lacking in standard. A good sweeper. Deadly Cover Up is a little expensive. The -2/-2 effects are, of course, a little narrow. And this effect is also pretty good against Heartfire Hero, while Heartfire Hero won't deal you damage if its power is 0/0 after the sweeper resolves. And then 2 copies of Obstinate Baloth against Harvester. Yeah, we all know what this is for. Hopeless Nightmare. 1 more Harvester of Misery, a cut down as well. 1 copy of Duress, which I was very happy about. But yeah, I suppose the thing is with the spells here is that they have to be really, really impactful, because you don't want to be stranded with a bunch of these expensive creatures, of course, in your hand when you can't cast them early and when your own game plan doesn't work. Your entire deck falls apart, and then like a sideboard card like Duress that usually has a utility against some decks is not even at its best. You know, you can Duress your opponent all you want if you give them so much time by not implementing your own game plan. Things are not going to go well for you. 2 copies of Haywire Might, cheap Disenchanted as a creature, and Scrap Shooter as well. This is a really neat one. I think it's the perfect sideboard card against Esper Pixie. 4/4 reach, great size, blocks all the flyers, does not get killed by Nowhere to Run, has an ETB that can blow up a Storm Chaser's talent or whatnot. So just a really great card there, and also, of course, useful against Domain, where all these 6 disenchants come come in to grind down your domain opponent. And last but not least, which is a card that I almost died to, and that is the Starving Revenant. So, my opponent was able to put this into play, draw some cards with it, and then with the Send 8 and a Beanstalk going on a big, big graveyard, he was able to cast a bunch of Hollow Marauders, which allow you to, first of all, trigger the Beanstalk, which then triggers the drain effect of the Descent 8. Whenever you draw a card, if there are 8 or more permanents in your graveyard, your opponent loses 1 life. It's sort of like a Shieldred, but you don't gain the 2 life, you gain 1 life, and they lose 1 life, right? And with Hollow Marauder, he was able to draw a card from the Beanstalk, and then with the trigger of the Marauder, draw another card, so that's a drain 2, and then you can essentially, in the long game, have like 8, 9, 10 lands in play the Starving Revenant, and churn out all these Marauders or other high-cost cards that trigger your Beanstalk, and drain your opponent a lot. So I was almost dying from that ability, and it threatened to kill me in game. Look, it actually did kill me, or led to my loss in game 2, but it almost killed me in... I think it almost killed me in both. I think I lost the pre-board game because I didn't draw a sweeper. It almost killed me in one of the games, and in the other game I was also kind of scared off it, but because it was only a one-off, I think my opponent didn't find it. Yeah, anyways, cool innovation. Maybe you should see more of that, honestly. Now with blue-white control and domain being even more popular, I could see a second copy in a sideboard, or maybe even in the main deck. Having one in the main deck to find in a long game to drain your opponent out despite of sweeper effects seems kind of nice. But yeah, I think this deck is pretty solid against Gruul, would be my suspicion. Pretty okay against Pixie. You know, Hopeless Nightmare in the end fills up your graveyard, which is nice for you. And the problem, I guess, of this deck, I presume, is some other white decks, the Rest in Peace decks, the Domain, and all of that. But I'm happy to find out myself by playing some games on the ladder. Join me. I'd love to play Forced. Forced. I'd love to play Forced. Joch. This seems okay. I mean, we don't have Beanstalk, which is pretty important, but I have a nice early game. Xenode Scout can do some digging, can find us Beanstalk, Overlord. I assume those are sort of the best turn 2 plays this deck has to offer. At this point in the game, I think I just have to bin all these, start filling my graveyard to make all the various expensive cards castable. Brushland. Lano Elf. Ooh, I kind of like that because that does give me something to kill with the vermin when I sacrifice it into the Souls of the Lost. Yep, you're also going to the graveyard. Perfect. 1 mana 2/2 that reduces the cost of my cards. You are milling. Oh, 2 more creatures. Couldn't go any better. So this is just a 1 mana Swords to Plowshares. No biggie, better Swords to Plowshares. Seraphic Steed, settle 4. Opponent missed the land drop. This has first strike. Basically down to 2 options. Yeah, I guess we'll just kill off the elf. It's fine. Won't allow me to attack, but that's okay. And there's a 5/6 already. Interesting. That's probably too good to keep. Yeah, it has to be, right? Like, it gets me a powerful creature back. Yeah. Let's just start by doing that, I suppose. Okay. Options. Hollow Marauder is powerful. Harvester is good at killing Steed. Opponent decides to concede, understandable. We were attacking for 9 damage there. 8, sorry, 8 after returning the creature. Okay, Terrortide, come in. Harvester, come in. Cut down, come in. I assume I'm playing against good old Bliskiark or something like that. What's the name? I don't know exactly. Well, something with B, the green-white Geark, which is a powerful card, which we also worked on a lot, and I can make a video on that deck too. So it's a cool deck, the green-white deck, but it has a similar issue than this deck. It's good against Gruul, but it's terrible against white sweepers. In any case, what are we setting out? Interesting, interesting. Maybe the Souls of the Lost? Just a big beefy body. Size matters to some degree in like a green creature matchup. It's not going to be bad, but it's not the end all be all. They can just exile it with something, destroy evil, whatnot. They have the Duskgrowth Reliquary, so they have some artifacts to remove. The Gear Hulk. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe just cut all of these and then cut a Mold Tender. Maybe Mold Tender is too strong. I feel like cutting this makes sense because it doesn't really enable my powerful cards that well. Just I think it's mostly an anti-red card. I guess I like the Vermin a little bit less without Souls in my deck. But the Vermin does mill too. It's a good combo of the Souls. Yeah, I'll just cut a Mold Tender. I can already imagine people at their screens like, oh, come on, just make a decision. It's just one card, whatever. Don't go so deep. Yeah. Okay. Slow play warning for Arne. This hand is fine. I have 2 Mortuary, which can fill the grave. I think I'm gonna try it. Beanstalk seems like one of the strongest cards in this deck. You really just go off, right? I guess I'll just stop with this. I'm feeling a creature on top. Oh, bingo. Get out of here. Brushland turn 1 as well. So maybe they drew the forest here. It's a little suspicious. Not playing the forest turn 1. Maybe they have a land light hand again. Okay. The steed be steeding. I might see some angels produced, but I'm not that worried right now, I suppose. I feel like my deck is so powerful when it goes off that it probably can beat a couple angels. I'd love to have a sweeper, not gonna lie though. I wouldn't mind that. Yep, you got an angel. I was right, no lands. That's a lot of potential damage coming at me. I guess I'll start with you. Okay, there's the sweeper for next turn. And there's a vermin. I like the vermin, I guess. Do I? Could also play Xenon Scout here. I'll go with the vermin. Then we can block the Evangelist, perhaps, and then sweep the board. Terror Tide. The tide is turning in a terrible way. Cheesy lines, yes, that's what you also get here. Puns, some type of level of insight, however you want to define it, and very cheesy lines. Da-da-da-da. Put in a tank. Am I lethal to a removal? 2, 5, 8, 10, 12, 16 damage if they kill my vermin. Or exile it or something. So with the first strike, I can actually prevent some damage here. 5 life in total gained. Killing the Evangelist pre-damage. I guess they can Paw Patch, give a counter to the Angel to give me 1 more damage there. They can't do it on the creature I'm targeting if they're trying to do that. that would be not great for me, I guess, if they could. All right. They already played the land. They need an invasion of Kublai Khan. Oh, interesting. What do you say? Let's put in a graveyard this turn, return a card. Okay, that's pretty good into a sweeper, not gonna lie. It's pretty good, but I still like my position. They can choose. Oh. Oops. They didn't want to choose, huh? Yeah. I could have had the steed in play. Don't think the one steed will change the game here, but yeah, they could have had that. Alright, let's start with the scout. Maybe we hit a creature. Maybe that was a little greedy. I could have just played these two. Well, now I only have... Well, I could play this, hit a creature, and then... Now I can play them. Nice. Let's play you first. Boop. Doing my thing. I mean, without the Terror Tide, would not have overpowered my opponent. To be fair. I needed that sweeper to survive. Alright. Thank you very much. Next match. Play first again. I think Overlord is one of the strongest cards to have in your opener. I think maybe after Beanstalk or with Beanstalk. Gotta take some pain, that's okay. I'll take that. Not a good Overlord. I wonder if... I mean, there's certainly going to be moments where you leave the creature in the graveyard. I don't know if this was already the case here. I could have thought about it a little bit. It is. You may, yeah. You don't need to return the creature. I could have left it. I could have left it there. I might leave creatures in the graveyard with the second Overlord. We'll see. I have to do some math. Gotta make sure. Not messing up. Plains. Okay, mono white, yeah. Don't love that. That's presumably one of those harder matchups. Okay, so I could take this Vermin, which mills me for another 2, so I should take it, right? It's sort of a freebie. Okay. It did replace itself in the graveyard by milling the Swarm. And yeah, maybe we can sacrifice it into the souls to blow up, I don't know, a rabbit token. Or that. Although that I'd rather exile. Okay. The souls can also sack the overlords for what it's worth. So do I sneak in a damage? They will probably just block. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold control and sacrifice the rat. And with that trigger on the stack, submit. I'm gonna cast Remorse here. This way I added a threat to the board, got a creature in the graveyard to reduce the cost of these friends, and also exiled the thingy. Otherwise I could not have done all of that in one turn. And if I don't hold full control, the Innocence would do me... Don't want it to have it around as an enchantment, of course. Okay. Let's crunch. You got it. The Overlords is kind of nice against sweepers. Let's see what they do about this one. For 4 mana, this is already a reasonable rate, I would say. For 4 mana, you get a somewhat good deal there. Nope. Yeah, if I had Beanstalk going, my life would obviously be a lot nicer. Just everything replacing itself, then you can actually grind through a bit. Nah, I'm not doing too bad. My opponent's kind of forced into a sweeping soon. Okay. Interesting. Certainly an annoying card in this matchup. Oh well. Could kill it, but then I just jump with the cake. Hmm. I don't think I want to commit more to the board, honestly. I already have 3 creatures in play. And I'm feeling a sweep. Although, didn't jump with the Innocence, which is a little weird, not gonna lie. Like, if you have a sweeper, you would jump with that, wouldn't you? Or at least a Sunfall. If I get an attack with the Overload in, that would be nice. But I assume we're entering sort of the stage where this game will like or could drag on for like 10 more minutes. But my opponent, if they play it correctly, will probably be able to deck me. Maybe. This is where that 4/4 comes into play, right? So maybe over the course of a long game here, I could set up a situation with Beanstalks to be able to drain my opponent out. I mean, at 19, it's gotta be difficult. I feel like these overloads are probably gonna mill me to death. Huskburster Swarm. Jawohl. My opponent's just chilling. I can't really commit more to the board. Not at jumping, next turn Sunfall. Demolition Fields. No, crack that. Yep. Mono White is a deck. It does have game against mid-range. It does have game against the discard decks, especially if it plays Wild Leaf Leech or Orbs and a bait off if they want to. But it's pretty bad against, yeah, Domain, mainly. And Blue-White Control, which is potentially, hopefully, a thing now. 4 Jaces are gonna absolutely demolish any mono-white player. But yeah, a black-green deck like this one is not looking too great here. Still casting Carrot Cakes, no sweeps. Interesting. They're really trying to deck me, don't they? I'm just gonna use my guy to kill their token here. If I could give my Soul's Trample. They haven't used a single removal, have they? I mean, they're gonna take 13 here. Yeah, just trying to deck me. Just trying to deck me. I'm taking the Marauder. I guess I'll take the Harvester. Maybe we can cheese some damage out here. Hmm. 2021. Souls of the Lost. All right, my friend. Go to 23. You're gonna get lost my 2020, take 13, go to 10. Huh. Okay. If I had another removal there, they would have died. Like, I would have not just needed to have this card in my hand. I guess I could have cycled there to try to find it. I have 2 in my deck. Maybe that was the move. 10% to hit it. Yeah, okay. Huh. 7 in hand. Yeah, pass the turn. I assume the sweep is gonna come now. Mm-hmm. Kind of gives me the hint that they do not have any get lost, right? Okay. How much do I commit? This, I guess, I mean, this replaces itself in a way, potentially. Or at least makes them discard. Pretty powerful card in a matchup like this, not gonna lie. Yeah, basically, they discard a card, I draw a card for 1 mana and gives me a 4/2 flyer. Pretty good. They could have discarded that. They want to draw cards, okay. Okay, gonna deck myself, ain't I? Play this. If I had the Revenant, I could really do something. Could drain my opponent a little bit, but I do not. Playing like one Revenant in a main deck, I mean, for these type of situations, I think could give you a lot of equity. It's also something you can find. Oh, they do have Get Lost. Okay. Maybe I just drew it just now. Let's use some maps here. I think I'm gonna commit 1 more creature. That can stay. I think I'm gonna play maybe this guy. I have 3 cards in hand. Maybe I'll play another one. Maybe I'll play this. I kind of forced into a sweeper again. Did I have 5 more creatures in hand I can deploy? And I might not play around another sweeper. I might just play around 2 sweepers this game. Okay. That's potentially a good sign. Yeah, man, just play 1 Revenant in the deck. 1 Revenant could, you know, drain a little bit from some positions. Sure, they can. Wow, I just win the game. Crazy. Classic. Classic. Okay. So this does not excel Enduring Innocence, which is unfortunate. I do want the Revenant, I want the Duress, and then the question is how many of these? What do I not? The Souls can go. The Souls can go. Harvest of Misery, Overwhelming Remorse. Remorse, I'll maybe go down to 2 copies. It is good against Enduring. Interesting. Not sure if I want to give them a card when blowing up the talent. Maybe I'll play 2 and 2, something like that. The Enduring Innocence seems pretty annoying though. Maybe I want more answers for that. I could trim down on the Harvester, play another Remorse. Maybe play another one of these. Seems fine. Yeah, I kind of want to have a second one of them, I think. Having only one for such a effect. Like, imagine a game stalls out pretty late. You have like 8, 9 lands in play, and then you play that guy, and then you play a bunch of these Hollow Marauders. That's sort of the combo. Interesting. Don't really have card advantage. I can go turn 1 Tender, then Scout. The card advantage of this hand is that it just has a lot of spells. The Xenoth Scout can find me a land. Tender makes mana. Interesting hand. Doesn't have Beanstalk. I'm gonna try it. Like, mulliganing to Beanstalk seems pretty reasonable too. Okay. Nope. Tending to some mold. Kind of hoping they would block. Yeah. Scrap shooting this. Not the move, I think. So I guess we'll just pass the turn. Didn't want to block the Scout, but trade with my 1/1. Sure. Yeah. Innocent's gonna draw 2 cards, unfortunately. This is a tough matchup. It does not feel good. They also have Rest in Peace, right? It's another reason to bring in the Scrappies. The Mites. Maybe I should have cycled the end of turn. Yeah, not loving it. Maybe I should have mulliganed to Beanstalk. Seems pretty unwinnable without like Overlord or Beanstalk as card advantage. And the Revenant would also be card advantage. Draws 2 cards. Wouldn't be bad. Just chump. All right, I'll play a turn. I might draw Beanstalk. Just my opponent has 7 cards in hand. Okay. Land. It is a land. Not an untapped land, unfortunately. Exiling. So mean. Not even my creatures are reduced. Alright, I'll give up. Next game. Needed the remorse there for the innocence. Didn't have it, unfortunately. This is definitely not good enough. This is what we're talking about. Probably like this, right? Could also put away the Marauder. But I think this is good. With the Mold Tender, I sort of have free mana already. Sure, lay it down. Well, glad I put a land away. Don't get lost, me. Yikes, even better. Even better. Pretty good start. 1-2 punch from the opponent. I like the Marauder, but I only have 2 creatures in the bin. So it cost me 5. Interesting. I'm gonna gamble a little bit. I can mill. I guess I can just ramp into the Marauder, to be honest. I can just ramp it out. Exile the Beanstalk. I could mill and hit a creature, but ramping it out seems safer. That is with more risk involved. Yeah, I'm just gonna exile the Beanstalk. Cast this. Fair and square. I don't think I'm gonna beat my opponent though. Like, they had a really good start here. I'm mulligan to 6. Again, no other card I rather would draw than the Revenant, honestly. So yeah, having a second one of those for all the white control decks would be appreciated, I think. Overlord was a nice draw there, though. Overlord always welcome. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Now let's start with this. Caretaker's talent number 2. Innocence, get lost. They already have an Innocence, so if they play another talent, it's gonna be like, it's all the same. Just gonna take a Get Lost, takes him into action. Gonna use this. So I have 5 creatures. This costs me 2 right now. Sure. Just take Hollow Marauder here. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna bin that. Pass. Interesting. Okay. Draw 2, I guess. If I take the talent, I guess they don't really have much draw power. They could play an Innocence, but they don't draw cards with it. Oh, I milled the Beanstalk. So unfortunate. They discard the Innocence. I like the other 2 more, yeah. Smash. All right, I committed enough creatures to the board. Yeah. Enough to warrant that card. Okay. Nope. Rest in peace. Oh well. Your other 2 what? Your other 2 cards are better than Rest in peace. I think my board is gonna get destroyed any moment. 2 cards plus a Get Lost that are better than Rest in peace. Sounds good. Okay. I guess they just light keeping removal. Gonna mill myself. I think we found a bad matchup for this deck. Surprise, surprise. So my Overload is covered. Drawing lands off the top. They have a 4/4 blocker. Not looking too hot. Actually, a 6/6 blocker. Okay. Hit me for 6. Seems like an aggressive usage of the Day of Judgment, if I may say so. Alright, I mean, this Beanstalk could literally have me chain a lot of spells. So, I'm not out of it by any means. Opponent floods a little bit, and I get lucky here. I also have a map token, so I can dig a little deeper potentially. Fountain Port, oof. That is gonna lead to no flooding on their side at least. Oh, another Get Lost. How brutal. How brutal. Moldy Tender, alright. Yeah, I mean, the white decks can just disrupt whatever this deck is doing pretty well. Unfortunately for the black-green fans out there. That's a card. Do I make this one bigger to block here? Sure. I have one free. All beanstalks are gone. One is an exile. So no beanstalk action. So my card advantage is pretty limited. I have 3 overlords gone in the grave. Yeah. Oh, one in exile. Okay, all overlords are gone. So this is literally the only card. I guess the Hollow Marauder is card advantage, but 3 of them are gone too. Yeah, so I have 1 Hollow Marauder as a 2-for-1 and this Revenant. It's gonna get tricky. The Revenant has to do some heavy lifting. I can maybe get a Husk Burster. Alright. Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna take the damage. I'm gonna attack you. Okay. This is already online, so it does drain the opponent. We just, for each card put on top of you, draw a card. You just, yeah, I'll just draw both. I could cycle this to drain more. I think I'm going to. I think the 5-4 is like, whatever. Okay. I guess. I don't love that, but I'm gonna take it. Okay. Kill my guy, attack me for 10. Okay. Fair enough. GG, mono white, strong against black green. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a mulligan. Sure. I'd like to know what I'm up against, then I could make a decision on the souls, but as is, I think this is sort of the weakest card here. Could make a case for some of these 1-drops to be removed. If I'm playing against red, I suppose I regret my decision. But that's okay. I mean, these enable me pretty well, and they're like kind of safe bets, I would say, so I like them. You don't say. Well, black-green might not be the best idea going forward if you're looking to attack the metagame. But, you know, I wanted to feature this deck, its strength. I played the wrong card there, sorry, my friends. I wanted to play Moltender. I clicked on the wrong green 1-drop. But yeah, it's still interesting probably for you guys to see this deck in action. Right's End. I'm gonna play around Lockdown a little bit. Yeah, I can read minds. Yeah, this deck looks pretty anemic without Beanstalk going, but when Beanstalk is going, the deck can do some broken things. I could just concede and move on with my life. I mean, yeah. Let's go to the next one. Like, my draw is so terrible. They just cast Stock Up. Okay. Souls of the Lost. Remorse. I think we can mostly cut. Revenant, Duress, Scrap Shooter. Haywire Might. Again, second Revenant would be dope. The Remorse can kill like an Overlord, can kill a Beza. Really dislike the Vermin in this matchup. Seems pretty bad. Scrap Shooter kills Rest in Peace, kills Lockdown if they keep it in. I wouldn't keep in Lockdown against this deck for what it's worth, especially against like the sideboard. I mean, I did not, yeah. I remember making a picture and sending it to my teammates how I sideboarded. No Beanstalk. Small Aggression. One Duress. These hands are iffy. If I hit a spell, I can bin it, and then I can make a mana. So playing the Molten first seems good. Huh. Sure. I don't want to exile creatures from my grave, but I need to make more land drops. Okay, well, I hope they don't exile the Tender. All right. All right. Not like this. Bailoff. I didn't even think about that. That's actually pretty smart. I did not even think about that. Right, I play Hollow Marauder. Playing Jace here seems kind of loose. They have Blast Zone, by the way, in their hand. I can say sayonara to my board state next turn. Yeah, did not think about the Blast Zone when making this mulligan decision. Maybe a punt. Definitely a punt, probably. I'll take one of you, friends. I mean, the one good thing about it, playing the Jace there seems a little weird. I mean, I guess they gained 7 life. They gained what, 6 life, I guess. No, they also paid 2 life, so they only gained 4 life. They just threw away their Jace for 4 life. Just seems bad to me. Just seems bad to me. Okay, well, I have things. Your turn. That's a good one to have. Any number of target opponent. It's not a May. Bye-bye, blue-white control player. Let's play another match against hopefully a matchup that's playable or interesting. Maybe red-green or Convoke or Pixie. How about Pixie? Something interesting. Never, ever, ever cast as the Beanstalk in my life. Seems like a playable hand, but yeah, without Beanstalk, it's so anemic, this deck. Just Oculus? Okay. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I feel like there's like a little bit too many puzzles that, or like a little bit too many pieces that have to go well. You have to have like the beans to go nuts, or the overlords, one of these 2 pieces. So it's 8 cards. It's reasonable, I guess. Then you also have to fill your graveyard. So in a quick manner, right? It's a little shaky, everything. It's a little shaky. Oh. Oh no, I'm stupid. Oh no, I'm stupid. Me stupid. Okay. You gotta play this first, obviously. And then do the exploring. Mm-hmm. 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 Lano waste might cost me. Oh, a block. I do like that. Okay. I'd like to sacrifice this permanent. Big friend. Oh, I didn't even see they had it. They discarded Scholar, I assume. Okay. I'm not going to be able to beat that without exiling. Yeah. Not a big guy, probably, is the call here. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. I think I'm just going to sack my avatar. Don't think that one's going to do much this game. The race is on. The jump block of Inti over the Manifest, or the Manifest Dread. Is it another Oculus? Maybe they have another helping hand for the Inti. Could have helping hand this though. They have an Oculus from Handcast. Yep. No trample means I'm gonna lose to these. No lifelink either. It's maybe also not a good matchup. Oculus seems... Okay, that's a start. Okay. The Lano waste doesn't help either. I took like 4 or 5 from those. Okay. Guess I'll take the Marauder. Still have 6 creatures left. Untapped Swamp would have been huge. I'm at 6. If they remove it for the Marauder, I die. Swamp would have protected my life there. Blooming Marsh did not. Okay. I don't have Graveyard Hate. I do have Terror Tide though, which should come in, I think. Scrap Shooter. Duress, cut down. Cut down for the fear of missing out. Scrap Shooter also blows up the fear. Block some of these flyers. Harvest of Misery, I guess, is pretty fine too against some of these small creatures. The Souls was not that bad. It's kind of bad against Bounce Off, I guess. I kind of like some of these Harvesters. Maybe I'll just kick out the Souls. No, maybe I'm underestimating the Soul. Maybe it's something powerful that I want in these creature matchups. Maybe we'll kick out the Gravestalker and add 2 back in. Not sure about the Scrap Shooter. I'm on the play. Keeping as many cards that sort of implement my own game plan as best as possible when I have the tempo advantage already by being on the play sounds like a decent idea. Llanowar Waste again is a bit of a knock to this hand. I think minimal again. Okay. Interesting. So it's between these 2 cards for me. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna bottom this. I have already 2 spot remove. Like 2 spot remove seems kind of okay. Ooh, no, keep that, keep that. Usually you put creatures in the bin, but you don't put that one in the bin. Oculus, okay. Attack. And play the Souls, sack the Avatar. Haste, let's go. Swing in there. No, no haste. Think what am I gonna do? So I'm gonna attack these 2. Huh. Interesting. No spell pierce, please. I was kind of hoping I block with the Oculus on the Souls so I can -2/-2. This grows by 1/1, so it goes 4/5 against 4/4. My attack, if I would have cast the Remorse first, I would have dealt 2 more damage there, I suppose. Oh, that was a punt. Sorry, I knew what I was going to do, but I just clicked through. I was meant to mill for another damage. My bad. Okay. Scry to the top. Like what they saw. Could mean an Oculus, could mean another Scholar, or Helping Hand, Recommission. People always kill my Beanstalk. Can't believe it. I milled the Beanstalk. Great. Alright. Not even respecting the Souls, I mean. Wonderful. Not even killing my beanstalk before killing the souls. Kind of ludicrous, but okay. Play this. I have 2 lethal creatures. One has menace. They kill this. They jump block the other. If they go Oculus, I'm just gonna cast it. Whatever. All in. Okay. 1 jump blocker. So I need a removal for this. If they just get an Oculus down, they can jump block the souls forever. Looks like... I mean, I did exile the Oculus. That did help, didn't it? Okay, that's not enough. They need a Siren too. Oh, they're dead. All in! Yay! To be fair, casting this next turn would have, I guess, also won me the game. Although not, because of the Profts, right? They would have had 1 big creature. Okay, game number 3. Yeah, menace, menace, menace. Sometimes you just gotta go all in. All right. Souls looked kind of decent. Was instrumental to me winning this game. Maybe it's better than this guy. It's pretty expensive. Pretty expensive card. 8 mana. Do wonder about that one. I guess it's kind of good against red decks. I can't really remove it. But the Gravestalker is a little cheaper. Costs only 6 mana. Like this hand, I mean, these 2 guys, they're going to be very expensive. I don't think I like it. Don't love this hand either. What's the plan here? I mean, could bottom this. If I draw a creature, I could discard the creature or something. Do the souls. What is the plan here? Don't have a plan. Play black-green control. I really need to draw some graveyard enabling. Yeah. That is good. That is good. Don't have to be worried about rest in peace, right? But Ghost Vacuum is allowed. Playing a Darker Ways tells me maybe something about their mana situation. Yeah, a little painful. So low on lands, no fast lands, obviously. Spell heavy hand likely, or more pain lands. There goes the turn 2 Oculus. Just how we drew it up. Well, this Terrortide is looking pretty terrible. And if my opponent returns an Oculus here, I'm just going to be Dobbs. Okay. It's something. And it's nothing. Ouch. Can't say I'm enjoying myself right now. 5 mana, exile type creature, planeswalker. It's playable and limited, I guess. Not very playable and constructed right now. I could hit the Vermin. The Vermin could hit 2 creatures exactly. Okay. It is an out. 2 creatures exactly, Vermin. Don't play with me. You gotta hit. Come on! You can do it! That wasn't 2 creatures. much. GG. I did a little bit of a mini yawn there. Some of you recognized. Still fighting the jet lag, but I had a good night of sleep, so I'm getting through it somewhat successfully. So I'm just gonna kill this. I don't know what the plan is here. My opponent has 5 lands in hand and 2 on top of the deck, I guess that's a plan. Certainly can't have the card Spell Pierce in their hand. That's not a land. The card is powerful, good raid. This card an Oculus. Oh, okay. Well, I'm 1 off. Well, I guess I'm 2 off from Descent. So I have to hit the Vermin again here. And the Vermin has to hit 2 non-spells. Which that's possible. Okay. Yeah, the Ghost Vacuum did its work here. Without the Ghost Vacuum, this game would have been interesting, I assume. I could hope that my opponent will not use the Ghost Vacuum. It's maybe crazy. Let's play this first and see what's up. If I have an Overload on... No, Overload won't do it. If I have a Vermin on top, I might just remorse one of these Oculus and then try to sweep next turn. It's not a Vermin. I'm just gonna try. You know, sometimes you just gotta try. You just gotta try. Yeah, if one of these cards here, the Tarotite that got milled, if that would have been a that would have been a Descent permanent, it would have been nice. We would have had a game, but it was not. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm good. I think there's no card in the game that can save me here. In my deck, there's no draw that I have that I can say. I go to free life, they get 2 more 2/2s. Tarotite doesn't work, and if I draw another removal, I can kill both Oculus, but then still have 6 power in play. So there's nothing I could have drawn into. All right, GG. Yeah. Oculus seems like a weakness, and the white control decks seem like a weakness. I presume the deck is... Like, it does powerful things. It didn't really do many powerful things in these games. Unfortunately. I wasn't really able to go off. People killed my Beanstalk very often. Yeah. I mean, overall, it's probably not very recommendable. It wasn't a good deck before. Moltender helps a little bit, but yeah, there's just too many weaknesses with this strategy. Yeah, that's about that. I hope you did enjoy the content nonetheless, even though the deck wasn't a super success or something recommendable for the metagame right now. It's certainly a fine tier 2 deck and whatnot. If you want to play if you want to have some fun, this is certainly a reasonable deck to, you know, play some ladder games with. All right, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys.